For the record, I didn't blame Windows that I broke it. I did. Okay, I did.
You know what, Eddie? It's far too bright with all these lights on. I have to put sunglasses on. That and you're wearing glasses too.
There is
All these lights make me turn on. I get a tan sitting here doing these streams.
there is a gamer streamer who wears glasses. Right, Dr. Disrespect. I think Ethan will know who it is.
Okay, very good.
I'll ask him. He'll know. I'm pretty sure it's that.
It's just far too bright having all these lights on. Not to mention it's making me glow on your stream.
It's because you need diffuser thing, like basically paper sheet thing that makes it softer. Softbox.
I swear you don't have any lights on though. You look nice and dark. That's because you've moved room, I guess. And that's
moved
why.
Room, and I've just realised Sarah knocked over my light and it's facing the wrong way.
Oh dear.
It
wouldn't be a stream with us if everything was working.
That's true. I can go change it. I can go turn it around. Let me go turn it around while you tell everyone about what's happening in the stream today.
So today we're doing another quiz. I don't have to say much. People have turned up.
But what are the rounds? What's different about it?
What's different? There's nothing different about it. We still have our standard rounds. We've got the general knowledge round, a picture round, and we've got a geeky coding round. Although, I don't want to say too much about the rounds. But yeah, the general knowledge is a bit more of a fill the gap. The picture round is a bit more of a what date is this picture? Well, not the picture itself, but the image of something. There's images of various things through technology, I suppose. So, for example, there's an aeroplane. That's it's probably giving away too much by saying that. But when was the aeroplane invented, first created? And there's some dates there. So we're doing a bit of a date round for some chronology stuff, and it goes way back to like the start of the AD, sort of 2,000 years ago. There's stuff going in there. And then the geek round. Well, of course, we have to do a round for Eddie. So there's a git round to finish us off. And because I've wrote these, we're going to test Eddie's git knowledge a little bit in that round. So he needs to get 100% there. Otherwise, he's not allowed to get ever again.
You know, your questions are always trick questions.
There's no trick questions in there. They're all, hopefully, all correct.
I noticed I'm a lot taller than Andrew today.
You're going to hear more from me. No, I've done 2 rounds this week. Don't complain. You can do all the talking. I've done 2 rounds.
I usually do the 2 rounds, so it's good. And everyone complains about my rounds. So we're looking forward to it.
You had a whole week to fix a rule in the database. Did you fix it?
I didn't. I was busy creating videos for YouTube, so my bad.
Moving rooms as well, I think. It's part of the problem.
Moving rooms. Oh, horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. And as you can see, I'm a bit taller than Andrew today.
Yeah, you're standing up, are you?
Yes, I can't fit a chair in this room that I'm in.
Brilliant.
So I'm standing.
Lying down in bed or something. I've done sort of videos with people and they're in a hotel room lying in a bed with a laptop on their knee, and you think, this is not really the sort of place to be doing a stream from, but fair enough.
Yeah, I've had one of those. I just wanted to get on a work call and... get on a work call and they're in bed, no top on. Okay, so it's a guy, so he can be topless, like being at the beach, I suppose. But it's just kind of weird when you have like a professional call and someone's like half butt naked with a laptop just on there, kind of lying down flat. And I don't know, just weird.
Just put the link in. I was just putting the link on YouTube. Yeah. Cool. I was just typing it.
So everyone watching, I've put a link to the game that you see behind us at the moment. So if you want to actually take part in the game, join the platform. You can log in with any social accounts or just create a username and password. And Eddie's audio feels way off.
I was about to say, you've gone to that robotic audio again. Whatever you've done, it's like that whole... You need to reboot the whole Windows machine to fix it.
I thought that Windows vMix issue, I don't know where it happened between the two. I thought it had gone.
It just sounds like you've got a really bad cold. That's all. It just sounds like you've got a really bad cold.
Not again.
We can just say you got coronavirus for the evening and we're fine. Everyone will give you a pass.
Let me just hear what that sounds like. That sucks so bad. One sec. I want to mute Andrew and I want to hear how I sound like. Testing my robotic audio. Oh wow, that sounds freaking horrendous. I sound like I'm speaking slow-mo.
Yeah, that's all right. You've been getting some training, haven't you? I thought you've been learning how to speak to people more, and perhaps some of the advice was just lower the level of your voice a little, keep it a bit more monotone.
Yes,
sound
so
like a garlic.
oh,
Go on, give us an exterminate. Go on. Exterminate.
I can't do it. No. Almost had me there. Yeah, I don't know how to fix this without busting something. So, that sounds terrible. Andrew didn't say anything before the stream started. Andrew had me talking for like 5 minutes.
You had me talking for about 5 minutes. You were trying to fix my audio. You didn't say anything.
Andrew never listens to me. That's basically what it is we've got to the bottom of it. Andrew never listens to me, and I think that's the key here.
So it takes me several minutes to actually understand what you're saying. That's what it is.
Thanks. I'm just looking at the screen. The screen is no longer, as I've moved offices temporarily, the screen is no longer up here. The screen is over to the side. So if you see me looking to my left, you're right. That's why. Hopefully the audio of my audio isn't too annoying, or I can try and have a play, but I might bust something. I probably don't want to break it. I'm quite excited about the quiz today. As Andrew said, we do have a new style of questions. It is fill the blank. I've got some good ones, and I think they're good, which means you're probably going to think they're shit. But it's going to be funny nonetheless.
They're fine. I mean, you did 10 questions in 5 minutes. They've got to be good.
Exactly. Copy and paste from the Microsoft documentation. Testing.
I just thought you'd been like Lorem Ipsum website and gone Lorem Ipsum sentences and just take one word out from each Lorem Ipsum sentence.
That's such a good idea. That could have been question 10, like a really difficult one. Wow. Okay, next week.
Sounds good.
It's almost 10 past. I'm guessing we should start soon. I'm so annoyed about my audio.
People a couple more minutes because, having changed when we're doing it, it did throw people off a bit last week. It is very quiet today.
It is.
It's the last week, isn't it, of the whole UK government deal going on for restaurants. I bet everyone's down a restaurant at the moment, stuffing their faces. We went last night, so made use of the whole government grant for getting down to eat between Mondays and Wednesdays.
I did not hear about that, so I didn't know.
There is Monday next week still, because it's up until the end of the month, so you can still do Bank Holiday Monday, and they're paying 50% or £10 a head, whichever is less.
Yeah, for sure, so whichever's less.
They're taking all of us down there. It was quite good.
Okay. We'll give it a couple more minutes before we start the quiz. I've missed out on this awesome deal to go out and eat. Monday will be too busy bank holiday. I will be giving that a miss. Right, okay, I'm just thinking about my audio. Should I try and fix it? I really could bust this though.
I don't know if is it worth the risk? It's not that bad.
Everyone listening, how bad is it?
Hey Lee, Lee's joined us now. Good.
Hey Lee, hey Tom. Tom,
Stephen,
thanks for the feedback.
Leighton.
Yeah, Stephen has been quite busy all week, and then last week I haven't spoken to him in a while. Trying to think. Let me try and fix my audio. Andrew, I tell you about some cool stuff.
Cool stuff. Nothing's changed. You didn't do any of the work this week. I can't tell about any of the cool stuff because the stuff that I'm working on is still mid-flow. But it will get there. We're working on a few things that we've been talking about. Eddie's got all these sort of bug fixes to fix. What else are we doing? So we've obviously got the quiz tonight. We said we've got 3 rounds. General knowledge again, picture round, coding round. Coding round, we're still on Git. We can't get past Git and GitHub. So I figured it was my turn to ask Eddie some questions on Git. And if he doesn't get 10 out of 10, we're not allowed any more stuff to do with Git on here. And then, the picture round is to pick the dates. General knowledge is fill the gap. That's it. Should be fairly straightforward. Hopefully, if Eddie can fix his audio in the next minute, we're going to get started, go through the questions. We've had just about enough time for anyone that is joining us this evening. It's a bit of a quiet one. As I said, I reckon everyone's out eating and enjoying themselves.
So how's my audio now? I've had a bit of a play, clicked on a few things. Does it work?
Better.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, good. Whew. Right. Oh, I'm really excited with these 2 rounds, 3 rounds. How many rounds have we got, Andrew?
There's 3 rounds. We managed to get all 3 in this week, and it's not a round with 2 questions in.
2 is better than none.
True. We made last week nice and quick. I think we were done in about 40 minutes last week.
We were. But we do have some interesting questions this week, and I'm quite excited. So I think my round's first, then Andrew's 2 rounds, I think. So let's have a look. Can we start yet, Andrew?
I didn't take note of what the answers were for one of the rounds I did, so I can't remember what they are at all. But never mind. Hopefully someone will get 10 out of 10 and they can give the answers.
I think I have the same problem. Okay, we'll figure it out between us. We're all smart people. We'll figure it out. Okay, I'm ready to hit go. Can I hit start yet?
Go on. It's almost 15:15.
We've got 8 people in the video in the live stream, and only 2 extra people in the quiz. So everyone, there is a chat in. I'll post a link again. Click on the link, join the quiz, and you can see you'll see it behind us, but you also can see it on your own screen and play along and get your score and answers at the end. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up as well. It really helps support the channel. So I've just talked for another 5 minutes. So let's click start. I'm really excited. Game starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The downside is everyone that's actually playing the game will have seen that before they hear it.
Yeah, I know. I did put it on ultra fast live stream, so hopefully it's a bit better. So yes, general questions that are done by moi, and then we've got picture round done by Andrew and geek coding round done by Andrew, which apparently is Eddie's favourite subject. I did see some difficult questions in there, so I'm a bit nervous about that.
You haven't been looking in the database, have you?
I haven't, no, but we get down the right-hand side, you get the kind of the teasers of what the questions are, like the first few words. I saw something about rebase or something. Something like that. I don't know. I was just like, okay, Andrew loves his rebase. Andrew rebases everything, right? If Andrew wants to do a commit, he rebases. If he wants to undo a commit, he rebases. If he wants to, everything.
Eddie doesn't commit, I rebase it.
Exactly. Right, okay, yes, and Lee's right. Nowhere to hide this week if there's only a couple of people. So, absolutely. Let's go. Right. General questions.
I'm looking forward to these.
I got some really easy ones to begin with because I was struggling. Coding is fun, bad, 404, hard.
Not for me.
Interesting that here it doesn't show how many characters. 1, 2, 3.
Painful.
So I did do 3, and I'm purposely put it.
Hangman style, have you?
Not for all of them, just for the first 1 or 2, I think. As a kind of a jokey, starty thing. The rest you won't know because I didn't realize it would appear like this, so I did _ 3 dots _ to show that you don't know what it is inside. But now I know for next time.
So does it have a U in it? No? Okay.
Maybe.
We need a Hangman game. Much more fun.
I'm sure everyone's placed their bets already. It's pretty obvious. Like I said, it's 3 long, so you can eliminate definitely 1 immediately. Hard. Exactly. Definitely option E.
If Eddie's doing it, coding is bad. Or missing. It's 404.
404. Right, okay, question number 2. Open source is not just about... And ignore these numbers.
Sorry, I'm reading a comment from Lee saying one of the questions on Stack Overflow 1 year was rebase versus merged. I mean, the majority, merge is good, rebase loses the context of the original changes.
Yeah, Lee, 5 points to you.
Depends.
If it's in a branch, I think it's I don't know. If you're merging something into your branch, then it makes sense because you're just changing the history in your branch. But once it's in the mainline branch, I don't think history should change.
Well, we'll see what comes up later in some of those questions.
I know Andrew's very passionate about destroying everyone's history.
Depends. If it's Eddie's history, definitely.
Exactly.
Right. Open source is not just about
people, collaboration, code, documentation. I don't know why my underscore. I haven't put underscore at the front and at the end. I was getting into the flow of it. Just bear with me. I was experimenting.
We get where the gap is.
Yeah, up here.
Fill the gap.
I don't know why I'm so dark.
More Netflix. That's what you need to do. Watch a bit more Netflix. That'll sort your brain out.
Okay, that's too easy. So let's move along. Everyone ready? Ready or not? Here we go. I want to get on to the harder ones. This is 3 words. TypeScript is better than JavaScript. TypeScript, there is some C# ones, don't worry. TypeScript is just like JavaScript. TypeScript is part of JavaScript. Oh, I don't know which one I put for this. Oh, I do know. TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. Starting off with some really easy ones here, so don't worry. I think the first 5 are really simple and easy. Just get people in the flow, understand how it works, experiment bit a bit, and then we get into some juicy ones.
TypeScript is not like JavaScript. Yeah.
Where's that option?
Not like.
I don't see that as an option. Option E, right? Okay. Gonna move on. Place your bets. Java is the same as JavaScript. Java is different to JavaScript. Java is.
Oh, we're going to have to go English here. You can't have Java is the different JavaScript. Java is the worst.
In my defense, this is when Andrew messaged me and distracted me. And said, so this was, I remember this question. That's what gave me the idea, because I remember meeting you when you did Java. So, okay, I'll bodge this one up. Wait a second.
And you asked me lots of questions about how to get JavaScript using Java. And then eventually closed around and we kind of got there.
Tom is right. It could be a silly mood. I was in a silly mood. I think from number like 5 or 6, it gets a bit more kind of concrete rather than just a mood. But hopefully they're kind of obvious which one it is.
Well, it's the only one that makes a real sentence, surely.
Yeah, I can't remember. Let me see.
Mohammed's here now. Yeah.
Hey, Mohammed, how you doing? Mohammed never sleeps. Like, seriously, whenever I'm, during the day, if I get up and write a message, he gives it a thumbs up or puts a comment in. If in the middle of the night I get up and feel like doing like a bit of work, he will also comment and reply. Swear he never sleeps. Java is the same as JavaScript.
I want to know whether one that says more powerful than. Java is more powerful than JavaScript. Would that be true or false? I don't know.
I've bodged this one up. Let's move on. I've bodged this one up. Place your bets. Let's go. Spectra's here as well. Awesome to have you here, Spectra. Okay, let's go on to the good questions. I hope they start now. Oh yeah, this is the last funny one, I think. I did this one for the C# people. C# is very pointy. C# is super flat. C# is very mighty. C# is by Microsoft. Hopefully, that's the last silly one. A by Spectra. Love that one. C# is very pointy.
C# is an inverted Twitter tag.
Oh yes, and like a C isn't pointy, but the sharp makes it pointy.
Well, I'm surprised they haven't rebranded to C# already. C hashtag.
C#++. Twice as good.
Well, that's how they came up with it, wasn't it? They just merged the pluses together and someone went, oh, that looks about right. I had a few drinks. I was drunk and I came up with a new language. C++ is now C#.
Okay, that's too obvious. I want to move on. Okay, now let's start getting a bit more serious. Okay, we're good. It took a long time, I know. Postgres cannot store a JSON, stream, code, regex, symbol. Oh, I bodged this up. No, it's fine. I think it's okay. No, I bodged it up. I'll give you a clue. It has an and then another few more dots. So there's 2.
Good one from Tom in the chat there.
Why developers wear glasses? Because they can't C#. So if I put these on, okay, I can do C# now. Here we go. I'll write some in the chat. C.sharp.build app. There you go. That's C#, right? Well, you're all trying to figure out my awesome question. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up.
So you said there's 2 that you've put down for this one in the end.
There is, yeah.
Okay. I've picked the 2 I believe it to be, but it's been a while since I've done Postgres. So.
Spectra, fake news. This one's pretty obvious. I think this one's pretty obvious. Ish. Okay, I think that's enough time on this one. Looking at the clock, 20 past. We need time to go through the answers as well. Well, 2 more rounds and then go through the answers. So Let's have a look. Next one.
We're doing all the questions today, then all the answers.
I think so. Oh, I went too far ahead. Andrew, can you fix it, please?
I'll close the database. Hang on. I've got to go back in.
We need that back button. I need to look at doing that. That was on my list of things to do. Okay, bear with us. Another technical issue. This one was caused by me and can be fixed by Andrew.
Do this one and we'll go back in a second.
Engineering. Okay, this is a quote by Elon Musk. Engineering is the closest thing to that exists in the world. Fun, loneliness, superhero, money, magic, and fame. Andrew's laughing. Does that mean he knows it? I wouldn't have got this one.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be... Well,
G.
I don't want to...
H?
Yeah, it'd be H. So I'm just trying to get to the database.
Spectra, B, loneliness. No, there's a community out there. There's an open source community. We talk every day. We geek out every day. We code every day. We argue every day. You know, it's like, I don't want to say that. It sounds like what the company says. It's like having a extended family. But isn't that what people like those enterprise places say about their companies? Come to the office and see your extended family. Keep this seat warm. And if it's too noisy, wear your headphones. Why am I coming into the office to wear headphones? So okay, maybe I won't say that.
Right, let's go back one, yeah? Okay, I'm going to go back one. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, please. Okay, I think this was another little funny one. What is Black Panther's suit made out of? Coal, aluminium, steel, vibranium, cheese, and rubber.
Definitely a large amount of one of those.
I tried to do Iron Man's suit. I thought it'd be harder. The problem with that was there was just so many answers.
I think the material that's used for that isn't stronger or harder.
No, but it kept on changing depending on the movie. So for one movie, it was like this. It started off as like probably iron, which is probably really heavy, and then moved on and got better and better, right? Because it fitted in a suitcase to begin with, and then it fitted in something else. So it kept on changing. It was too complicated. There's a Tom who's a computer scientist who's a core maintainer of Postgres. Oh, I think it's not me. Okay.
Obviously, Tom gets hit up by the questions from this all the time. Are you the Tom Lane that knows this? Tell me, how do I fix this in my database? I blame you. My data all got wiped.
Okay, right. I'm going to move on. That's an easy one. And then we'll go back to this one real quick. You got 5 seconds to go on this one as well. No Googling. And Mohammed, no cheating. I didn't fix that bug yet. So I know you got that. I know, my bad. Right, I'm going to move on. This is by Dara. I can't pronounce that surname. And I'm not going to say the founder of which company because it's too obvious then I think. Desperation sometimes drives innovation, cars, people, code, money, or fame.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it's fame.
So, with question 9, I've started getting more serious now, right? This is getting good. Shame there's only 10 questions in total.
Well, I know you got quite desperate for everyone to like you, so you decided to become famous on YouTube. So that's how I figure this one out.
Yeah, that's true. That's the answer. But, you might choose cars because Dara is a CEO or founder of Uber.
I was going to say, because she drives a car. As simple as...
I think it's a guy.
Sorry. Yeah.
I think. Right. I haven't. I don't know. I don't really follow Uber's stuff, so I'm not sure. Did you see? That really made me. Give me a minute. That really made me chuckle. Lee, you're fired.
Leave the room.
I think I need a minute Give me a bit.
It definitely strikes a nerve.
It's because we wanted some more rounds, guest rounds, but no one, delivered this week. We actually even lost a like. We were at 5 likes a minute ago. We're now at 4. Someone removed the like. No, add the like. We need the like.
Who did you upset? What did you say?
Even if Lee's message comment is correct, still leave the thumbs up. Right. Okay. Moving on. It's not about working harder. It's about working by Steven Spielberg.
I was going to say that's not right.
No. People, grind, media, network, game, system.
People, definitely.
It's about working the people.
Get the whip out.
Grind them to the ground. Get every ounce out of them. I don't know why I'm so dark in the video, I've just noticed.
I told you earlier you're dark. You said you turn the light around.
Oh, I know why. I was recording a video before, so the settings on the camera is in 4K rather than HD, so the frame rate's wrong.
I like the blur effect you've got on me as well, so I'm a bit blurred.
That's just you.
It's the quality of my cheap camera.
Okay, while you're answering that, I want to try and change something on my camera. We're back in a sec.
Always
it's the last question. Make it count. It's a good question too.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to start moving to the next questions. Let's see how this round went. PC, yeah. I don't know. If he's using a Mac, his camera would be fine. Go on. Let's call it a round there. I think you've got enough time on that question. Let's see how the scores are. And fingers crossed, Eddie has scored nothing. Because obviously he didn't do any of the answers. But
is that any better? I don't think so. I think I made it worse.
Oh, Eddie, you got nothing. Oh, wow. I'm impressed. I got 9, Lee 8, Mohammed 7, Tom 5.
Yeah, Tom gets... I was going to say Tom gets less score because of the cheeky comment, but that was Lee. So sorry, Tom. Deleted some of your answers just because...
Lee, is that what you're doing?
Pretty good. 6. 6 wasn't a good one for people, I don't think, by the looks of it.
6 looks like it was a tricky one. I can't remember what 6 was.
I think 6 was a weird one.
That might have been the Postgres one.
I think so, yeah. I think so. Good memory. Spectrum, because you're using a PC. Okay, let me open this on another screen so I can play too.
Okay. I'll start the next round up when you get yourself sorted. So, picture round. So this is a set of pictures. There'll be a load of dates for each picture. Essentially, figure out what it is that's in the picture. I'll tell you what the first one is. In fact, I might tell you what most of them are as we go through. But it's what was the date it was first created, available, innovated. When did it first appear as a resource or a tool or an object? And these are all attributed and checked as far as what the Britannia Encyclopedia says, I believe. So if they're wrong, blame Britannia, not me. Okay. So the first one, this is a picture of some gunpowder. So when was gunpowder invented? First attributed to be invented. The dates. It's been around for quite a while. Eddie tried to use it to blow up the Houses of Parliament at some point, I'm sure.
That was my friend Guy.
Guy. Sorry.
Mr. Forks, right?
He likes to fork projects a lot.
A different kind of fork. Okay, let's have a guess. Okay. I've placed my bet.
Yes, that's one person placed. We still need that thing that tells us 80% have done or whatever, so we know where to move on. Based on that, I'm sure everyone's... I can already tell I'm going to be using this. It's a little bit of a... When do you think it might be, I guess? I've tried to make the dates have a reasonable gap. Apart from some of the more modern ones, there are a few modern ones in here.
Even the modern ones all suck. Like, you're going to have Wednesday, the iPhone, I don't know, 8 come out. It's like, no idea. Try and work backwards.
We're not even going to sort of models of things. I think there is one about the telephone, but it's more the telephone, not a particular model of phone. It's just when was the telephone invented. Okay, let's go to the next one. which is the telephone. There you go. I can't remember what the order of the pictures was. So, when was the telephone invented?
The dates aren't in order.
No, they're just sort of randomly thrown down. I could have done them in order, I suppose.
Because now I need to bubble sort it in my head.
Good. Don't want to make it too easy. You either know it or you don't. When approximately do you think it was? Do you think it was in the 1700s, the 1800s, start, end? You're going to show ignorance of the real world. It's right. That's the whole point in this round, is to prove that we might be able to write code, but we don't know much else.
Okay.
All towards things in technology. They're all innovations and people that came up with ideas and started up their own businesses or things wrong. I mean, imagine if the telephone had never been invented and no one had come up with the idea of, we can talk to each other by this thing that you put to your ear.
But when the telephone, does this include having, the disposable cups and a really long piece of string to your family down in another town? Does that count as telephone, or is this actually...
I could go even further and say, does it count when you actually just told someone, can you go tell Bob over there that we're about to be attacked by the Vikings?
And then you run really fast.
You have to run really fast. Yeah.
There was like that in World War One. I remember watching a documentary. They had runners, and they would have to get messages between different, squads or battalions, and people would run between them.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, and someone asked a really good question, said, is it because they're the fastest runners? And it's like, no, it's because they can remember most information. It's about being accurate rather than being a fast runner. I thought it was quite interesting.
Makes sense. Okay, next question.
Let's do it.
Is this here? Do you know what this is, Eddie? Before I say what it is, what is that? Do you recognise it?
Yeah, it's the ice cream machine. I've got one of those.
Oh, I thought you might say sewing machine.
Is it a sewing machine? No, it looks more like an ice maker.
I'll give a moment in the chat, see if anyone wants to shout in the chat what it is. But it's the sort of thing that if you hang around with your grandparents a bit, they might take you. Stirling engine, yeah, a steam engine. That's right. It's a steam engine.
That's pretty good. You need a steam engine to make ice, right? The heat creates ice cubes, right?
Yeah, sure. But yeah, the steam engine. When was it created? It's obviously very popular. It helped us get trains going and various other vehicles in the early days. And
we still use it nowadays. Most Windows computers are driven by steam.
Yours seems to be.
Mine's really powerful. I'm hardly using any processor. Look, total 12% of resources used. Mine's overpowered. And that's a record
You do have water in there. You've got a water cooling system and the CPU's heating it all up. So it's probably producing some steam in there.
Yeah.
Every now and then there's smoke coming off it.
Well, I did feel that I wanted to make it one extra cool. So I punched some holes in the pipes just to let a bit of heat out quicker. So it doesn't have to wait to get all the way to the heatsink. It can come out sooner.
Very good. Yeah, just a little hole in there.
Just a few.
Okay, let's go to the next one. So the television.
Is this a coloured one, or is it the original television? No.
Television. When was the television invented?
Because this
I
is
tried to pick old-looking versions of. I didn't go for a flat screen. Kind of. When was a flat screen TV first invented? It's just the television. You can do one next week that's more specific on certain versions of things if you want.
So, can I ask a question?
Okay, go on then.
It's not about the TV, it's about a movie, but it's going to help me answer this question. So, in Back to the Future, in number 1, when he goes back, what year does he go back to?
I don't know. It's like 1944 or something, 1948. I think it was something in the 40s, wasn't it?
Oh.
55, okay.
55. Okay, that helps me answer my question. Thanks, Lee. Okay, got an answer now.
Okay.
Because it's something that his mum says that's obviously not his mum when he goes back, but that reminds me. I don't know if it's going to help. This might be wrong, but it's just the only educated guess I can make.
Learning from Back to the Future when things were made. That's always good.
Well, they taught us so much that you can make a flux capacitor by hitting your head in the bathroom, and then you can time travel.
Perfect. Everything must be perfectly correct in there. Just like hoverboards were going to be created in 2014 or whatever it was.
But we do have hoverboards. They just have a
year was, but
we do have hoverboards. They just have a wheel that touches the ground. But if you stand at a certain angle, you don't see it.
And they have made buildings with floors that will repel objects to float, but yeah, they're not quite the same. I want the Back to the Future hoverboard. Right, okay.
It's because we're waiting to discover vibranium, though. That's why.
Yeah, fair enough. Compass. Oh, your screen hasn't updated, have it?
None of mine have updated. Oh, it's changed now. Okay. Firebase has been quite slow today, I've noticed.
I have noticed it was a bit slow when adding stuff in. I don't know whether we need to look at some indexes or something, but I'm assuming it's just a bit slow. We'll have a play.
Compass. Wow. Whew.
Again, I've tried to go for a reasonable gap in dates. I can't remember what the answer to this one. I've got it written down in front of me, though, because otherwise I'd never remember any of these.
It's a tough one.
I think, a bit of trivia. I think the first time the compass was come across, it was a bit of metal in a sort of container of water, used for sort of guiding the military in directions or something. So something to do with military action. Pools of water and bits of iron being dropped into them. Which ones are made up dates? Yeah, I mean, they are literally just throw some dates down along with the correct one. Which one looks like a made-up date there, Eddie? Go on.
Well, wasn't there like the Battle of Hastings, like 1066?
Yeah, there was that.
So did they have compasses then?
I don't know.
I watched the movies I watched as a kid.
I don't know what the answer is, so I should know if it were.
I think it's after that, right? They didn't go out on a horse and they didn't go, oh, okay, we'll go north for 10 clicks.
It might just not have been widespread by then. You never know.
Yeah, but if it wasn't widespread, how do they know it was discovered? Like invented?
Well, that's the problem with some of these things, isn't it? But as I said, anything that's incorrect, I blame the Encyclopedia Britannia. So.
Okay, I'm good. I've answered.
Okay, move on. Here we go. An aeroplane should be a bit easier for you. When was flight effectively flight invented?
It was those two brothers, wasn't it?
Wright brothers. So
yeah.
when the Wright brothers, right? So I had to put these dates a bit closer together because, and again, there could be some discrepancies in what people think here.
I love the story of the Wright brothers and their competition, and how the Wright brothers had no funding and their competition had like loads of funding, and the Wright brothers still won, which I think is amazing.
Just shows you don't need money to do things.
Yeah, it was Simon Sinek has a great video on it. It's really good. He says how the Wright brothers were passionate and they wanted to do it just to achieve flight, whereas the other people wanted to do it to get rich and they were just taking their paycheck. Yeah, the Wright brothers. Didn't they have a bicycle shop or something?
I believe so, yeah.
That's the Wright brothers' first plane. Yeah, I can see.
Well.
I can see one of them pedaling at the back.
Yeah, that was the first seeding. When they got their first round of seeding for their funding done, they went straight into this.
Exactly. I better have a guess. Let me see.
Go on, pick something. Happy?
No.
3?
No.
2?
Did they have planes in World War One?
I think they worked on them through World War One. I think they did have something there, but my knowledge of World War One isn't that strong. I know World War Two they definitely did.
Yeah, World War Two they definitely did.
They came together in World War One, wasn't
But in one they did a lot of stuff on horses still. They didn't even have really kind of vehicles. Okay. I'm torn between two. Let me change it. Okay. I'm good.
All right. Here we go. What's that? What is it?
BC. Wow.
Wind turbine.
Wind turbine. At least you put them in order this time.
Windmills. When were they attributed to being first created? Was it first? I think you have to decide. Was it before or after 0 AD?
Oof, that's a hard one. In Game of Thrones, when was that set? Because they had windmills there. They did. I remember they had windmills.
I don't know. They had all sorts of strange things going on there. I'm guessing they were set around the 1200s. There you go. How's that?
And they did have Starbucks there as well, from season 9.
Yes, they did have Starbucks, though. Maybe it's a little bit late.
You couldn't. Well, I don't think it was a drive-through. I think you had to kind of go in and collect it.
Maybe Marty McFly had visited recently.
Yeah, that's what Lee says. Flying the DeLorean, 1885. You had to go into King's Landing to get a Starbucks. Otherwise, if you were somewhere else, you were stuck with Costa.
Okay, have you got something? Making a nice random.
Oh, Lee brings up a good point. That's true.
Maybe. Depends. I suppose there's other ways you could have ground it by hand rather than using a windmill to do it. I suppose just because a windmill became a more efficient way of doing it doesn't mean you couldn't create bread without one.
True.
Interesting how Lee's suddenly putting double messages in. Thought I managed to sort that problem out a bit, but maybe there's still a bit of a bug there. Or watermill, yeah. Okay, next one. The radio. This should be a nice easy one, right? Everyone knows when the radio was created.
When was electricity created? It's got to be after that, right?
Yeah, I guess so, because even the wind-up radios that have been storing electricity in capacitors of some sort, wouldn't they? So, yeah, I suppose so, but I think that was somewhere in the 1800s, if that helps. It was sort of early 1800s, I think.
Well, when was the light bulb then? I haven't seen the movie yet.
Which one?
The light bulb one. There's a new one coming out about the light bulb.
Okay. Earworm time. Video killed the radios. Yeah. Sing a few songs instead. Don't worry about it.
Although podcasts are coming. Let me pick one. Okay. Although podcasts are making a major comeback. Like as in like audio.
Yeah, which is interesting. People are back at home and stuff where you don't. I'd say it was when people are traveling around more. Podcasts were quite popular. You're traveling between places.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I suppose people are doing more at home in the kitchen and stuff, perhaps just listening to the radio while they're doing stuff. Also, things like Alexa and all the home units that just talk to you and don't have screens are perhaps pushing some of that again.
It's true.
Okay, next up. So, space flight. When was space flight first come about? When was the first rocket launched?
I watched a movie recently. I should know this. I watched that movie with Kevin Costner.
I love how everything you refer to is some sort of movie somewhere. Kevin Costner. Don't know.
Hidden Figures, that's the one. He's like head of NASA, and they put. I mean, Lee brings up a good point. Yeah, thanks, Lee. Hidden Figures, yeah. It took me a second to remember, but yeah, unmanned because they think in Hidden Figures they did unmanned, and then he did manned, and then they went to the moon. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, it was a Russian probe, I think, was the first one. So yeah, it was unmanned. They started the whole space race fiasco.
Okay, I've made a guess. I'm not sure about this one.
All right. Let's get to the next question because I'm also slightly conscious of time. Last one. This is just for you, Eddie. Seeing as you love your cameras these days, you've got to know the answer to this. When was photography first?
I think that's the Canon, right? Whatever the famous Canon one is, 5DX.
I'm sure this is the Sony A9.
The A9. Oh, the new Sony A7S3 looks epic. 4K, 120 frames. Oh, so good. Full HDMI output.
This camera was much better, and it compacts down as well. I mean, yours don't compact down.
It's true. My lens is probably bigger than that. I remember when we were talking about cameras with Andrew, and Andrew was like, "Oh, what camera should I get? What lens?" And then we're looking at lenses, like sensible ones, sensible price range, and he sends me over a link. He goes, "Look at this one. What idiot would buy that one?" I said, "That's the one I use. I'm the idiot."
Yeah, I think I upset you when I said that.
You did.
Just seemed like crazy money for what it could do, but I'm sure it's awesome.
It is. I'm not using it at the moment because in this room, I need a bit of zoom in and out to be adjustable, so I can't use the prime. Okay, so I'm going to place a guess.
Go on. Random guess. When do you think it was?
I think this one takes dual SD card. Yeah, it's running RAID for sure. Just like the Sony's. Okay. So in Back to the Future, when they went back the second time, right?
They took a picture, yeah.
They did have pictures there, and I can't remember what year it was.
Who knows if they were being factually correct by any of that, but yeah.
Okay, I've guessed.
All right. Let's get some answers, shall we? There you go. It's 1885 was the last one.
You got one more round, right?
Yeah, there is another round, but I was going to say the answers to this one, what the results are.
Oh, okay. Waiting for it to update. Yes! Joint first. Yes.
They were quite low scores, okay.
Number 2, most people got right, and the 10, most people got right. So that was hard.
It was obviously a bit too hard, okay.
Andrew's ones are always difficult.
I'll remember for the future and be perhaps not so vague. I thought when they were invented might not be so bad. Discount view, but maybe the dates were too close. Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Lee. I had no idea either.
Okay. Learn from that one.
I even asked. Oh, I just clicked on something on my mouse. Even asked like the Golden Octocat. Didn't help. They didn't know either.
Cool. Okay. Let's go to the last round. I think the last round hopefully will be a little bit easier. Nice casual one to finish on.
Let's hope so, Andrew. Not too hard.
We'll see. I mean, it is Eddie's favourite subject. If he doesn't get 10 out of 10 here.
The pressure now. Scored less than random average. You'll bring it back on this one, Lee.
Absolutely. You just need to go A all the way through. All right. So, first of all, what's the correct way to retrieve changes in a repository using Git?
This is subjective.
But there's a correct way to retrieve changes. I didn't say it. I only said retrieve.
Okay. Okay. Rebase. Yeah, that's the answer to all of them. 1 to 10. Rebase. Andrew, you should have put rebase in all of them just as an answer. One of the answers for fun.
There's a few that have rebase in there. You'll be happy enough, I'm sure. Not sure how many rebase is the correct answer for, but we'll see. If in doubt, rebase.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm sure these should be fairly straightforward. So I'm going to go a little bit quicker through these ones. All right. Number 2. There you go. There's rebase featured. If you have changes and you need to update the branch before committing, what command should you use? So if you need to update your branch before you commit your changes, what should you do first? Should you use git reset hard,
Definitely,
git stash,
always,
rebase, or git clone?
I think you usually use rebase. If in doubt, reset hard. Done. Problem's gone away.
Yeah. tends to get rid of any issues. Then you can just pull the changes out.
Exactly, and then you can redo all your work. Anything with hard or force is a winner. Agree.
Mohammed just goes straight for RMRF. I know he's been trying to do that to our database, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Some of the advantages of Git. Which of the following are advantages of Git? It's cross-platform, it's highly available, it's got data redundancy replication, it can store binary files and images, it's language or code agnostic, and it's easy to steal the code.
How many answers are there?
Yeah. Go on, I'll give you a clue because I know people find these hard. There's 4 that I'm looking for you to choose.
Done.
Okay.
G, H, I, and J.
Okay. Have you picked your 4? Or discounted 2 that you're not happy with?
I have discounted a lot.
So you've discounted 4 of them. Okay, that's interesting.
6, actually.
None
Actually, you know what? Let me just change my answer. I want to discount 8 of them.
Yeah. I should have done advantages of SVN over Git.
0.
Okay. Next one. What languages Git written in? So I said these are easy, right? What languages Git written in?
Okay.
Written in Java, Pascal, C, Python, C++, or Bash?
Lee's right. Highly available depends if you're on Bitbucket, because then you're definitely not highly available. Every time you do a push, Bitbucket runs git reset minus hard, like head -1. So it gets rid of your work.
That's why you should never have just one master for these things. So obviously you can have as many as you like. The good thing about Git is its distribution makes it available.
If you know the author of Git, I do know the author of Git, but it doesn't make it easier. Linus Torvald.
It is Linus. Yeah.
Why does it make it easier? I don't know what he wrote. I'm torn between 2.
Okay, interesting.
Can I ask for a clue? Is it a language, or is it the plus of the language? Or is it the more positive version of the language?
I'll tell you this, I have used the language. Does that help?
That doesn't help at all. You're a tart. You use every language.
I have used all of them.
You have even used C#. And you said it was very pointy. Oh, Tom says neither. Really? No.
Okay. Let's go. Next. What's an alternative command for performing a merge in Git? Is that one a bit too obvious now?
That one's a bit too obvious now. For anyone who's stuck,
just use Eddie's favourite command.
Use Andrew's favourite command.
Okay, that was so easy. I'm moving on with no time to make changes.
Okay.
2, 1. Okay, cool. Right, here we go. So, what's the correct command to remove files from the staging area of Git? So, if you've got files that are staged, what command should you use to take them out of the staging area?
And in fact, I can't say this because it will ruin the answer, but there's a slightly simpler way it can be done. I don't think you need. I think it defaults to something that's already there. I won't say any more. It might.
It's not necessarily the correct thing to be doing if you're actually doing it properly.
Let me.
Default is never good to base yourself on.
Let me give everyone a clue. It doesn't involve fruit.
Okay. Hopefully you've chosen your answer.
I have.
Note the word correct is important here, because there are 2 ways that are listed that you could do it. Okay. All right, next. If you've got something that's broken, how can you fix your commit? Do you run git commit fix, git commit edit, git commit patch, or git commit amend to fix a broken commit?
I do it a different way. I don't use the parameters in the commit.
You just go git delete. Git Kraken.
I used that when it first came out, but
you had Git K. Git K was the visualization tool, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Is that the same thing? Is it?
I think it's similar. They've all moved on so far since we've you played with them, because we used them I think when the Git first came out, and now we just do everything on the command line.
Is Git Kraken a Windows thing? Is that what it is?
I can't remember. I think you can get it for Mac. I don't know. I just do diffs and VS Code and everything else on the command line. Oh no, not cross-platform.
No, it is cross-platform. Is it? Yeah, it looks like it goes everywhere. Oh, it looks a lot like... Oh, what's the name of it? There's another one that I don't use either, because I don't really need the visualization like that. But yeah, there are a few certainly on Apple that you can use. I think they're all cross-platform as well, but I can't remember the name, so I don't use them. Eddie does. Source Tree, that's the one. Okay, let's go next. 8. If you've got a folder, which you don't need it to be part of the current code base, but you want to keep it in Git control so you can use it across multiple projects, what should you be using? I hope the question is clear. I wanted to keep it slightly ambiguous.
It's so ambiguous, but I can do it by a process of elimination, right?
If you know what the commands mean, then it will help you, yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, one of those just doesn't exist, so that's a quick one to take out.
Which one doesn't exist?
That's giving too much away, isn't it? Maybe I'll come back to that later.
I'm joking. It's obviously H.
Of course. Okay, you happy?
No, but let's move on anyway.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, next up.
I want 10 out of 10. If it's not 10 out of 10, the questions are wrong.
Well, I certainly tried to make these a little bit easier going. Okay. Which are valid ways of creating a patch? I think 3 of them are.
It's a good question.
So valid, not necessarily correct this time. Before I was looking for kind of the most accepted way of doing things. This time it's just which of these would work. I think it was 3 of them. I might be wrong. It might only be 2. It could be 4.
I've got 1. The one that I would use. So you're saying 3, so I need to guess 2 more. Okay, I've guessed the second one.
There's only 2 that I tend to use. But the third one I've sometimes looked at and gone, I'll do it the other way.
Okay, I've guessed the third one. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right.
This is going to let me down.
I'm glad it's starting to get a little bit harder. Let's go to the last one. I think hopefully that was enough time. Okay, so what are the best practices when using Git? Which of these are good things to be doing? I'll have to try and remember how many I've chosen, because this is one of the ones I don't remember what I put the answer as being. But yeah, you got squashing commits when you merge, rebasing feature branches frequently, accepting your own changes if conflicts occur,
yes,
using tags for releases, force pushing any critical changes straight to master, if you're in doubt, go to Stack Overflow. Ensure that tags are visible on the software that you're using. The tag version, for example, is visible, so you know what the tag is. And the committing changes frequently. So I think there's two or three. Two, I think.
I've got 3. Is it 2 or is it 3?
Shouldn't be selected. Yeah.
Sorry, how many should be selected? I've got 3. You're saying there's only 2?
2 or 6 of them should be selected.
Oh, 6 should be selected. Okay.
These are from the internet, accepted best practices for Git.
I have a question about A, but which branch are you merging to? And from? You're going from
this would be
feature to mainline?
This would be merging your changes into the master, I suppose I should have said, yeah.
Okay. Into master, not
into
develop.
Back up the chain. So rather than going down, back up your chain.
Okay. And there's 6 answers.
6 of them, according to the internet. Because I didn't want to base this just on my own opinion. So it's using the internet. I was checking on common Git best practices that were listed on multiple sites, not just picking one place that said that was good.
Okay, I've got 5. I'm by process of elimination. I can guess the 6th one. I wouldn't recommend it.
I think I'm lying. I think there's only 5. You're right. Sorry.
Okay, phew. I was going to say that one's a bit dodge. That's like an Eddie question. Okay, thank you, Mohammed. 5 answers. And Mohammed's checked the database already.
Okay, in that case, I'm moving on to finish it. Okay.
Eddie, 10 out of 10. Come on. Yes! 6.
Oh, Eddie, how did you only get 6?
Well, I am running this stream. I've got a carrier pigeon that's...
Interesting that 3, 9 and 10 were popular ones that went wrong. So we'll have to check what they were.
Yeah, 3 and 9. I think the question must be shit.
Sounds like it. We'll find out when we get back round. I'm going to take a note. Okay. All right. Should we go back round? Let's see what the answers were. I have to go back. Did I close the database? Where's it gone? Oh, there it is. Okay. I need to reset these first too. You need to fix that database, Eddie. Although it's useful to have Mohammed be able to check the answers for us. Okay.
I hope I remember the answers to the questions.
All right, back to the beginning. Give us your answers.
Before we start, everyone give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps support the channel and it's free. And you get notified when Andrew and me go live.
And we have a session this Friday?
We do. We do.
On the channel. So join us on Friday, 4:00 in the UK for, a deep dive. Probably more of an overview of Firebase. Mostly to do with how we got this project working with the real-time aspects of it and so forth.
Yeah, so by deep dive, we mean shallow dive.
Yes. Deep dive as far as if you've never used Firebase before, it could be quite overwhelming. But if you have used it before, it'll probably be just reminding you on some of the things you probably have already been doing. Okay. Right, go on, Eddie. What's the answers? First round.
Okay, let's go. There we go. Okay, coding is... I think I put fun for that.
Hard.
Oh, let me put it on the right screen. Sorry, let me do it on the right screen. Coding is fun. Here we go. Open source is not just about code. I'm pretty sure I did that. 404, Mohammed's right. TypeScript is better than JavaScript, obviously. Superset. That was a trick answer there. Java is the same as JavaScript. No, different. The JavaScript.
Depends. 10 years ago, everyone seemed to think it was, and it was rather frustrating.
Yeah, especially with recruiters. They still today think it's the same.
Yeah, recruiters still do, yeah.
C# is very pointy. Actually, it's by Microsoft, and it is a bit sharp and pointy. Postgres cannot store a stream or a resource. This is the one everyone got wrong. What did people put?
I went code.
No, it can store code apparently, and according to their docs, it can.
I thought you could store streams for some reason, but by stream, I suppose I was more thinking files. But yeah, okay. Because you can stream. I thought you could stream data in and out of it. But, okay.
But it's not a data type. I don't know if there's an extra kind of way to.
True. Okay.
Tom says just stream. No, so it's resource as well. I guess resource is like a handle if you open like a file on disk.
Okay.
It's made out of rubber in real life, but in the movie it's vibranium.
It's amazing how when they record these things, they can convert stuff from rubber to vibranium.
Engineering is the closest thing to magic. Did you get that right, Andrew?
Loneliness is probably quite valid as well. But yes, magic.
Desperation sometimes drives... Oh my God, I've forgotten. I think it's innovation.
Innovation is what I picked, yeah.
It's not about working harder. It's about working the people hard and crack, and just chase after them. No, it's about the system.
Cool.
So hopefully Eddie has 10 out of 10. Phew, I got them right.
Nicely done. Right. This one, I fortunately wrote these down because I knew I'd never remember them otherwise. So gunpowder was invented in 1850, so B.
1850? There was no 1850 on there.
There was 1850 on there. I just clicked it.
No, there wasn't. 850, exactly. There wasn't 1850. There was 850.
Oh, that's not good. I was up far too early this morning. Okay. Telephone, because I was looking at the next one. The telephone was 1876.
Yes.
I managed to look at it. 1876, the telephone. The next one, the steam engine was 1765.
Yes. I know my score already. I've forgotten what it was, but I didn't do very well. Obviously got the rest wrong now.
The television was 1927.
Oof, that's close.
I can't remember what they used. I think it was used for broadcasting sort of after the war, wasn't it? Compass was 1044.
Wow.
So you might have thought 1066 was me trying to put people off by saying 1044. It wasn't. It was actually 1044 was when it attributed to it. I don't know how they managed to figure that one out, but yeah.
They used a DeLorean to go back and ask people.
Must have done.
Yeah, I think so.
The aeroplane was 1903 with the Wright brothers, although they were experimenting with it in the late 1800s. So I put sort of an 1891 in there just to try and throw people off. But it was 1903 when they first achieved flight. But yes, they were playing around with it through the late 1890s. The BCs were there to put people off a little bit. It was 1950. 99.
You keep putting a 1 in front of everything.
I know, everything needs a 1 in front of it. They're all far too old for me. I just can't do these dates. 950. The radio was 1901. This does have a 1 in front of it. So 1901 was the radio, which was quite surprising to think that they had a radio and then they had flight only a few years later.
Yeah, true.
So...
Mohammed says, sorry to interrupt, Mohammed says the radio was invented in 1895, but the commercial use was, whatever it was, 6 years later.
There you go. So I went by what Encyclopedia Britannica said. So if Wikipedia says something different, then yeah, blame Encyclopedia. They can have a fight between each other. So Wikipedia is kind of the encyclopedia these days, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. Spaceflight 1957 was when Russians launched, I think it was Sputnik, into space, starting the space race through the 60s, up until obviously landing the man on the moon in 69.
I was way off.
And the camera, what did you have for the camera? 1826 is correct. It was 1826.
Yes, cool. That's Back to the Future. Mohammed says there's a bug in the chat. What's up with the chat? Did I read your message wrong?
Oh, it doesn't like the fact that the text isn't breaking, I think. So, because I have mine vertical stacked. Yeah, yours has done it. Because you've got a very wide screen, it's not so bad. We need to probably add a break white space when you've got a very long string of text. Well, another bug found by Mohammed there. Feel free to put that on GitHub. We'll get that sorted.
So if I make this smaller, you're saying it'll break out with it or something? Oh, I see.
We need a white space break on the CSS.
Got you.
It's not too bad on the video, but probably for a few other people. If you're vertically stacked like me, because I have it quite narrow to the side, you don't notice it. Okay, end round. Cool, I got those correct. Well, I got them correct as far as what I put in there and what the encyclopedia said the dates were. Next round on Git, and I'm going to have to try and remember these. So this first one is Git fetch to retrieve, because it's not asking how do you update your local code base, which a lot of people would use Git pull for, but fetch is the correct way, and then you should use Git merge typically afterwards. But obviously don't do FF. So yeah, Git fetch. If you've got changes, you need to do something with them before you do anything. You should use Git stash, not Git reset hard, which I have seen people do for some reason.
Really?
And then code and go, where's my code gone? Certainly the more junior people, they see people go Git reset hard for some reason, and they try using it and go, oh, my code's all gone. How do I get it back? You can't now. It's gone. There should really be a warning there, I think, when you do that, saying Git reset hard. This is going to delete all the stuff you've done locally. Are you sure about this?
Yeah.
But I guess it's like Git RMRF, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Following advantages. So it's cross-platform. It's highly available. It's good for data redundancy and replication. Storing binary files, I would say, is not an advantage of Git at all. You shouldn't be storing binary files.
Why did I click that? I didn't mean to click that one.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I didn't.
3 was one of the ones that quite a few people made a mistake on.
I didn't mean to do that one.
Agnostic. So the answers should be A, B, C, and E. D, you should not be doing. If you're doing that, think of a different way of doing it. Do not put binary files. Do not put images into Git. That is bad.
I agree with that. I don't agree with C, though.
Redundancy replication, yeah, massively.
Because it's distributed, but
exactly.
But that's if other people are using your project. If you're just using it yourself locally, then it's not by default redundancy and replication.
Yeah, but one of the things over things like SVN, the advantages of it are that you can do that.
You can do it. Yeah, okay. I'm ticking it. I'm going to get the question right.
You should be doing it.
I should get a point for this question.
It's quite bad if you've only got your code stored in one place. Really, if you're only using GitHub, that could be a bad thing. You should really have it somewhere else as well.
Well, you got GitHub and you got local probably, so it's 2.
Yeah, you do have 2 places. You already have that redundancy there built in automatically. Unless, obviously, GitHub might have some of the branches you've deleted locally. But anyway, next up.
Or vice versa.
Git is written in C.
Oh, is it C? Wow.
C. C++ is too slow.
I thought C++ kind of was pretty close to it. No,
C is still faster. Alternative command for performing a merge in Git. You can use rebase to do merges. The correct command to remove stuff from the staging. Git reset stop will remove everything, but you shouldn't really use it if you're trying to do things properly. You should be using Git RM is the correct way to be doing it, or accepted way to be doing it. Git reset soft is too harsh, apparently.
Yeah, I use Git reset, and it unstages everything that's staged.
Almost everyone will probably be using Git reset because most people do it as a blanket command.
Yeah.
RM is the way you should be doing it.
Okay.
If you've got a broken commit, what should you do to fix it? You should use git commit amend to fix it, because that keeps a lot of the other information about the commit still available. Otherwise, you lose those things. But yeah, I mean, really, if you've got a broken commit, you're probably in a mess anyway. So again, a lot of people will probably undo the commit and then
that's what I do.
Change
and resubmit it. Yeah, I don't know if that's good or not. Or I use a revert if it's been pushed up already, or if I'm in the same branch that someone else is using, I'll do a revert.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't have really got to the point of needing to use revert, really, but as a complete backup, if you've really got to go there. You've got a folder you need to do something with. What should you use? Submodule is available, so something that things like SVN don't really support very well, being able to have sub-projects.
They did have something equivalent. What did it have? It did have something.
They did. I think it was actually called module as well in some way, but it wasn't very good. And I remember us having nightmares trying to get it to work.
Oh, it was awful. But even Git submodule is not great. I try and avoid that if we need to.
Yeah.
Oh, externals. I think they called it externals in SVN. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be much, Lee. You're right. It will mostly be down to your disk reading speed and CPUs and all the rest of it. You're probably not going to notice a huge amount between C and C++, but C is still effectively supposed to be quicker. I think you have to benchmark certain things. There's probably certain things in C++ that are quicker than C. You have to benchmark everything. Next one, creating a patch. Which ways are valid ways of creating a patch? So you can use git stash show, and then with a -p, we'll create a patch version of it. So B is correct. You can use git diff, and then cached is optional. You don't necessarily have to use cached,
if it's staged.
You'll probably be using cached because you want to get the patch for the actual files you want to share to somebody, because you might have other things. So good practice to put cached in there if you're doing it. There are some other ones as well if you want to get binary files as well into it. So if you've got images, there's some other switches, but git diff will do the job. And the other one is git format patch, which is probably the one I tend to use.
Interesting.
Git format patch, and then you can specify format it against where. In fact, there's a very shorthand way, which is the one I typically use, which is git format patch -1. And that will take your last commit and create a patch from that last commit without you having to write anything else. That's the one I tend to use, is git format patch -1. But because I thought that would be a bit too common, I didn't want to put it in there. But interesting, he didn't choose that.
I've never used that one before.
I'm impressed that you think git status could create a patch. That's quite cool.
I don't know. I never tried that. I just thought I used the other B and C, but I was like, we'll have to have a guess. Maybe generate patch looked quite promising.
Yeah, I don't think I've really ever used B apart from once or twice I've come across it, but it's normally C and E are probably the ones I tend to use, and E being the main one. Okay, last up, and if my screen, I noticed yours is updated. Mine, there we go. Mine was being slow there. Which ones are deemed to be best practices? So squashing commits is deemed to be a good thing to do when you're merging things down. Rebasing frequently, absolutely, because if there's changes going on the main branch, you want to get those into what you're doing as quick as you can. Accepting your own changes for conflicts. I've worked with people that truly believe that's the way to solve a conflict. So much so they force push their stuff up there, wipe everyone else's out, and you have an absolute nightmare trying to sort it out. In fact, the last contract I did, when I first joined them, they had a team out in South Africa, and that was all they did. Every time anything came wrong, they had a team of about 6 of them out there versus a couple in the UK, and they massively outweighed everyone, and it was just, project disaster. Anyway, yes, not C, so do not ever do that. D, utilizing tags for releases. Yes, you should. Forcing pushes straight to master if you've got a change to make. Again, I've heard plenty of people say, "Oh, but it's just a quick fix that we need to get released. Just put it straight in there." Yeah, that's normally project managers telling you something like that. Quick fix, put it straight out onto the main branch. No, it should follow the same flow as everything else. If in doubt, use Stack Overflow. Again, something I've heard people say, "Oh, well, if I don't know what I'm doing, just go to Stack Overflow. That'll tell me how to fix stuff, right?" On Stack Overflow, they said use this command. Anyway, no, not that. Tags should be visible in the software somewhere. Always useful to do that for testing purposes, so that someone says, "Oh, it's broken." You go, "Well, what version are you using?" If there's no way of figuring out the version from your software as to what the tag was that created it, that's a bit of a nuisance. So try and have it somewhere in your software what the version is that you can reflect back to a tag. And committing changes frequently is always good to do, but that leads you back to A. Then you should be squashing those commits down when you merge stuff. So don't have big branches that have got lots of changes in there, otherwise you'll lose some of that history. So that's kind of a balance of getting the right amount of history you want to keep in your squash versus committing frequently enough that you don't lose things as you're stepping along. I tend to find some IDEs are quite good, though, that keep a local history when you're doing changes anyway, which isn't necessarily good because I start to become a bit lax on doing my Git commits for those things. But anyway, so the answer should be A, B, D, E, and D, G, and H, which is the ones Eddie's got selected as well on the screen, so that's good. And fingers crossed, I've got that all down right. Good.
Awesome.
Then to Mars, yeah, absolutely, Tom. That's the way it should be done. But still, people say, no, just push it straight into master. We haven't got time for anyone reviewing it. Don't be silly. Yeah.
Awesome. So, overall, should we see the overall score?
What's the overall scores? I'm hoping I did well.
So, you need to subtract 20. I need to subtract 10 to get our results.
Do we get to multiply up for the rounds we then actually answered questions on?
No, because you answered all the rounds.
Okay, yeah, go on. End quiz. Let's see what we've got.
Am I doing it or are you doing it? Okay, I'll do it.
I've done it already.
Oh, you've done it already? Okay. Okay. Game over. So Andrew got 9. I got 2. No, I did 1 round. So I got 12. So I came last.
So ignore us. Mohammed, I don't know how much he was looking in the database, but hopefully it was an honest round from Mohammed. Lee and Tom, yeah, very good.
Yeah, Lee definitely gets... That made me cry. I laughed so hard. Definitely get an extra 10 points for that. Let me change that.
So I do hope overall everyone enjoyed the quiz. That's the main thing. Even if it wasn't for the questions, but just having something to do.
There you go. How's the score now, Lee?
Very good.
A lot of extra points, times 10.
The downside is it only updates for Eddie, but that's all right, because anyone that watches the stream back will see the score. You just need to somehow shift his order up as well. You can move things around too.
Can you?
Yeah, if you go into the inspect and drag the element for his LI or whatever it is up.
Well, I didn't know you could do that. So do that.
There you go. Oh, I don't know. Here we go. I've told Eddie something new. He's going to abuse it now.
I would never.
Yeah, never abuse something. I should never tell you things.
You never tell me anything.
It's like a kid in the candy shop. Oh my God, I can have one of those. I want one of those. Oh, I want to do that too.
Okay, there we go. That looks better. Andrew got 2. So I'm in second place.
Always good to hang out with Lee as well. And the rest of everyone else.
Yeah, thank you all for joining. It was really good fun. Definitely cheered up the midweek kind of hump of the week, and I hope you all having a good week so far, and I hope it gets better. And Andrew, thank you for the 2 rounds.
It's all right. It was fun, rushed as
always.
Desperation.
That's true.
Yeah, we'll be on for the Friday Firebase 4:00 in the afternoon. Hopefully everyone can join us live. We've tried to pick a time that's kind of end of the working week for people to chill out a bit as they're closing off their week. And
Andrew doesn't know this yet, but this is the last stream for 2 weeks because I'm away for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, the last quiz for the next 2 weeks. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm away next Wednesday till the following weekend. So we should have lots of time to fix the bugs, lots of time to come up with loads of questions. So we should be good, right?
Oh, I'm glad to hear you've got a holiday of coding going ahead. That's good.
Got a massive list. Everyone have a great week. We'll see you all Friday for some coding. Oh, sorry, go on.
So when do you go away? I'll ask you after.
Yeah, we'll chat afterwards. Yeah, hang on afterwards. We'll chat more. give everyone a wave, and we'll catch up with you all on Friday.
Have a good week. Good 3 weeks. It's going to be 3 weeks till we see everyone, isn't it? Apart from Friday.
Yeah.
Thursday see us Friday. Otherwise, 3 weeks for the quiz.
See you all then.